My friend Stephanie texted me on Valentine's Day, suggesting I get in touch with my sister to see if everything was okay. I was confused. My sister is a sophomore at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, from where I graduated 9 months ago. A group text from my sister followed soon after, telling my parents and me that there was an active shooter at the school, and that she was hiding in a closet near the bus loop, thankfully on the opposite side of campus. She was terrified. Around an hour after the shooting, at 3:36 p.m., she sent, "I love you guys with all my heart," in all caps. 4 minutes later, 3 blue hearts. Then we didn't hear from her for a full 12 minutes, which were certainly the longest 12 minutes of my life.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Amalia May, back with another video. Today is kind of like a bittersweet day. I'm excited to be participating in the March for Our Lives campaign. So I am not in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is where the huge march is taking place, but there's also similar marches in cities all over the world, the country. So today I'll be attending the march in Tallahassee, which is the capital of Florida. So with that being said, I am getting ready to head on out to the meeting spot. At the end of the march, there will be a rally at the steps of the state capitol. I'm excited to be able to influence change, whether that be marching, whether that be chanting, or whatever I can do to make an impact I want to do. So let's get on ready to go head over to the march, and I'll see you guys there. Alright, so I just pulled up at the March for Our Lives here in Tallahassee. And there's already a pretty good crowd over there. I found a really good parking spot really close to the Capitol. You guys know Tallahassee is the state capital for Florida. So it has been a prime spot for rallying due to the shooting in Parkland. There's been many meetings here at the Capitol trying to, initiate some change. So I'm really looking forward to this rally here. The crowd is already starting to get pretty large. It's 12 o'clock right now and the rally starts at 1.
This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Gun control. What do we need now? What do we need? Gun control. What do we need now? What do we need? Gun control. Volunteer on a campaign for a candidate who has common sense gun legislation in their platform. So volunteer on it. Vote them out. 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 Vote them out.
Smiley faces out here today. But we're not all happy and smiley, no, we're angry, right? Because we're angry because just this week there was a shooting in Maryland. And the week before, or the month before, there was a shooting at my high school, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. I got it. And there was a shooting in Las Vegas and Colorado Springs and San Bernardino, and we're angry, and that's why we're here to change for change. My friend Stephanie texted me on Valentine's Day, suggesting I get in touch with my sister to see if everything was okay. I was confused. My sister is a sophomore at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, from where I graduated 9 months ago. A group text from my sister followed soon after, telling my parents and me that there was an active shooter at the school, and that she was hiding in a closet near the bus loop, thankfully on the opposite side of campus. She was terrified. Around an hour after the shooting, at 3:36 p.m., she sent, "I love you guys with all my heart," in all caps. 4 minutes later, 3 blue hearts. Then we didn't hear from her for a full 12 minutes, which were certainly the longest 12 minutes of my life.
Looks like. I said, tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy
This is exactly what democracy looks like. But you gotta make sure, because as an elected official, I gotta tell you, power seats nothing without a demand, right? Nothing. And the best way to make good on your demand is to show up with your voter registrations card, telling an elected official that you can either promote them and elect them or take them out of office. That's the power that you have. You want to know what else democracy looks like? Democracy looks like in November, the folks right here under the sound of my voice and the folks all across this state are going to send an unapologetic message to the people behind me in this building and the building behind her. That if they stand in the way of common sense gun reform, we will vote them out. Right? This is a moment that we're in. This is a moment that we're in that was bought on largely by the sacrifice of 17 precious lives that were all taken too soon. It was also bought on by 49 lives that were lost at Pulse nightclub. It was also bought on by the 20 or so babies and adults that we saw, those bodies carried out of Sandy Hook Elementary School. And can y'all tell me what happened in Washington, D.C.? Nothing happened in Washington, D.C. And in the aftermath of this tragedy here in Parkland, we saw our legislators take to microphones and to televisions telling us what it was that they were going to do to try to make our community safer. Well, I want to applaud, obviously, them taking some action. But I also want to call out the steps that they missed. Y'all, they missed the opportunity to close the gun show loophole in this state. They missed an opportunity to strengthen background checks in this state. They missed an opportunity to outlaw assault weapons in the state of Florida. I want to tell you what has me optimistic today. The reason why I'm optimistic today is because people like you and the students who are marching in Washington, D.C. and 800 cities all over the country are about to become single-issue voters. Single-issue voters. And their single-issue question is going to be, are you for the NRA or against them? Right? Their single-issue question is going to be, are you for making our communities, our neighborhoods, our streets, our churches, our houses of worship, our school buildings safer or not? That will be the question that our young people will ask. Y'all, while we're assembled here today, we need to make sure that this is more than a moment. We've got to make sure that this is a movement. Make sure that coming out of today that we register as many voters as we can see, as we can touch, as we come into contact with either physically or on our Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter feeds. Every one of us who has the right to vote will have to exercise that right to vote.
Now you have to save yourselves. Now is your time. Now you must act. Just like the mayor said, just like Representative Halsey said, your vote matters. Vote them out.
We all know that what we did not go far enough. And we can all agree that more guns in our school is not the answer. So yes, I am a legislator, but today I am here as a mom. I am a mom demanding action.
Scoucher, Carmen Skintrup, Peter Wang, Scott Beagle, Aaron Feist, Chris Hickson, and Cortland Arrington. On June 6, 2016, I graduated from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School as an Eagle, along with all the people I loved and cared for. I was fortunate enough to walk across the stage with everyone I grew up with for the previous 4 years. And it breaks my heart that the students following me will forever have their high school memories tarnished. These are the names of the people, of the 17 people who were slain in cold blood in the halls I grew up in. and the place that helped mold me into who I am. No one would ever think that their school could be next. But unfortunately, schools and movie theaters and nightclubs are not the only victims and targets of gun violence. Routine gun violence has disproportionately affected communities of color for years. Today, I would like to touch on Black women. Gun violence has been a long-running issue for Black communities. The same energy and efforts afforded to the recent tragedy that struck my hometown should be the same energy and efforts that all gun violence should attract, no matter whether it is a regardless of whether it is a suburb or a ghetto. Peace to all of those who lost their lives at the hands of money-guzzling politicians and the organizations who pay them. You are all much... You are all worth much more than that. Thank you.
Okay, so I just wanted to quickly touch on kind of my view, my thoughts, and what I, am advocating for, I guess. What I would like to see. I'm proud to see my generation taking a stance and impacting change like they are. Like, this march is huge, and I think that if we continue to influence our communities and influence lawmakers and legislation like we are now, we will see change. So kudos to the generation who is actually getting shit done. So I have my little notebook with some of my notes that I jotted down, so if I'm looking down, don't mind me. I just want to make sure that I hit everything that I want to say. We know that the killer goes by the name Nicholas Cruz. He is 19 years old, and he used an assault weapon. He used an AR-15 that day, which is insane that he would even have an assault weapon on his possession for many reasons. So he's being charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder and will maybe face the death penalty. I just think that it's horrendous that something like this is happening in our schools, where students, and although I just graduated college, but still, I still consider myself a student. It's a shame that we have to go to school and literally worry for our lives. And parents shouldn't have to be afraid to send their their children off to school. Something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. What I would like to see happen is, one, ban assault weapons. And I'll say it again. Ban assault weapons. There is no reason why someone that age should have in their possession an assault style weapon that's used at war. There should be no reason at all. Would like to, and I'm sure they won't see this video, but I would just like to put it in the air that I am sending my condolences to the 17 families that were impacted by the shooting, and my condolences aren't going to make that much of an impact on the families who lost these children. So we can say that we're sorry, and legislators can apologize, and Trump can send a message to them all they want, but those words mean absolutely nothing if nothing is done to change this. So if assault weapons aren't banned, if we do not ban the machinery or the weapons that are being used in these deadly killings, then we aren't doing anything. No one wants to hear, "I'm sorry." I want to hear, "What are you going to do about this?" Honestly, I can go on and on and on about the facts of what happened. happened, or the facts of Sandy Hook, or the facts of the killing in Orlando, or the facts of the killings in Las Vegas. I can go on and on and on about how those were horrendous acts, and and express my condolences to the victims' families. I just want to say that the students of Parkland did an amazing job organizing that march, and all of the students across the country organizing the individual marches was such a good step towards getting to what we need done. And they can't ignore us anymore. Literally, there's crowds and armies of students who want to see change. They can't ignore us. So this is definitely a great step towards getting legislation passed to ensure that our kids are safe at school. And no, that does not mean giving teachers weapons. That's so stupid. So I just wanted to touch on how my experience was at the march today. It was an awesome experience. Like I said, it was bittersweet. I was proud to be there, and I was happy to see the crowds and the crowds of people that came out. But it was also sad to hear some of the stories. There were a few speakers, and I didn't get everyone on camera. I kind of just got bits and pieces of the event, but there were a few speakers that all were phenomenal. A student from FSU, and he was a survivor of a school shooting that happened at FSU in 2014. 3 people were killed, and he was paralyzed from the waist down, and he also has permanent nerve damage in his arm, so he has very limited mobility of his arm. But he spoke about that day that he got shot, and how the killer and his shooter had schizophrenia. Why does someone who has schizophrenia own an assault weapon? Why does someone with schizophrenia own a weapon at all? There needs to be tougher background checks. There needs to be psych evaluations for anyone that wants to purchase a gun. Another thing that really, really, really bothers me is that Nicholas Cruz showed signs. So many signs that were ignored. And maybe if those signs weren't ignored, maybe those 17 people would still be alive today. It really disgusts me to the fact that there were actually people that called in to the government, to the FBI, and with their worries of Nicholas Cruz and his postings on social media with rifles, and the people around him that knew that he hurt animals. Like there were just so many signs that could have prevented this from happening, and that is what really makes me upset. So I kind of know this video is all over the place, but I wanted to touch on how I feel about it, what I would like to see happen, show you guys some clips from the march just to show you how powerful that movement was. And it's not over. Definitely not over. And I definitely think that if we continue the way we are, with the numbers that we are, with the determination that we have, something will change. And we can start saving the lives of so many. I know this wasn't, a uppity video or makeup glam or tutorial or anything like that, but definitely something that I wanted to address on my channel. I'm not a super political person, never have been, but I am someone that likes to advocate for change. I've always been an advocate for things that need to be done, and I don't want to be scared to have to go to school, because I still need to go to law school. And maybe that's what I need to go to law school for, to initiate change in legislation. There's just legislation that is straight bull crap. Someone needs to do something. So thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share this video. Follow me on all my social media accounts, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.